Today, we're going to discuss landscapes. What is a landscape, you say? Well, if you look at the words, you got it right there. It's a picture about land. So this is a landscape. This would be a landscape. This would also be a landscape. Now let's talk about what these pictures have in common that make them a landscape. So the first thing a landscape will have is a horizon line. Now a horizon line is horizontal, goes side to side, just like we've learned about horizontal lines, but it's called a horizon line. It's where the sky meets the earth. Okay, so it's where the sky meets the earth. It could be where the sky meets the mountains, or it could be where the sky meets the building and the land, but it's where the sky meets the earth. So that's your horizon line. Now another thing that you'll find in a landscape is it has a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. So if we look at these words, fore means in the front. So it'll have something in the front. Middle, of course, is in the middle. And then background is what's behind it. So if you look at this landscape, you've got some buildings in the front. Your middle ground would be this beautiful water. Your background would be these mountains. So that is a landscape. You've got something in the front, something in the middle, something in the background, and you have a horizon line, whether it's a straight horizon line or whether it's a wavy horizon line, depending upon what might be there. Now, there's a couple other things about a landscape. So we said this was a landscape because it looks at land. Now this one is also a landscape. But this one, what do you think we would call this? We would call this a seascape because it's mostly about the sea. Now that still is a kind of landscape, but it's a little bit more specific. So this is a seascape. Now you still have the horizon line, which is where the sky is going to meet the earth. You still have something in that. You could even say this is in the foreground. You could say this is in the middle ground and this is in the background. Now there's another kind of landscape you could have, and that would be a cityscape. And that would mean it was mostly buildings. Now when you look at all these landscapes, what's missing from these landscapes? What's missing? People are missing. There's no people. There's no animals. You might have a little person like right there, but the main focus is on the land, of what's going on, the cityscape, the landscape. The people are not the focus. Now, if a person is the focus, like this, you could tell this man is the focus of this piece of art. So this is called a portrait. A portrait is of a person. Okay? And then the one last thing we're just going to touch on is this one. Now, this is not a landscape and it's not a portrait. So what is this? This is called a still life because it's like a snapshot of life and it's still. There's nothing in motion here. It's all just sitting still. So, go back to our landscapes here. What I want you to remember from this is a landscape has a horizon line where the sky meets the earth, and it has something in the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. So now our next project, we are going to create a landscape. So hold on, because that's what's coming up next.